In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on February 15, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like access to our exclusive betting picks, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Now let's get started. Texas versus Oklahoma. Number 20 Texas will take a 1-game break from facing ranked opponents when it travels to Oklahoma on Tuesday night. The Longhorns have faced 5 straight ranked teams and have another one coming up against number 11 Texas Tech on Saturday. Oklahoma has lost 4 of its last 5 games, including a heartbreaker at number 8 Kansas last Saturday. Texas has faced one of the toughest schedules of any team in college basketball this season, with 5 of its 7 losses coming against ranked opponents. Speaking of ranked opponents, the Longhorns just wrapped up a stretch of 5 straight games against ranked teams. They went 3-2 during that span, with the losses coming to Texas Tech and Baylor. Texas knocked off Tennessee, Iowa State, and Kansas over the last 2 weeks. The Longhorns still have rematches with Texas Tech, Baylor, and Kansas coming up down the stretch of the regular season. ESPN's Joe Lunardi has them slated as a number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament in his latest update. Texas could not sustain its recent high level of play at Baylor over the weekend. The final score, a 17-point loss, might have been flattering too. Their elite defense was non-existent and they just couldn't score. Not one of their starters scored more than 8 points in the game. I can't recall the last time I saw a box score like that. And Baylor was missing one of their best inside defenders for most of the game too. It was a road loss to a very good team, but also an expectation reset on the Longhorns. Oklahoma got off to an excellent start to the season under first-year head coach Porter Moser, winning 11 of its first 13 games. The Sooners have struggled in conference play, losing 8 of their 12 games. They have faced a tough schedule as well, dropping their first meeting against Texas in a 66-52 final. Oklahoma has lost 4 of its last 5 games, with the lone win coming against the number 9 Texas Tech last Wednesday. The Sooners nearly pulled off an upset at number 8 Kansas on Saturday, but the Jayhawks were able to come up with some clutch buckets late in a 71-69 win. The Oklahoma Sooners fought hard but fell short, losing to Kansas on Saturday by just a couple of points. Like Texas, they were off a big home win but just couldn't sustain that level of play. Unlike Texas, they need to do a lot of winning down the stretch to be considered for an at-large bid. They need to get at least one win that they are not supposed to if they want to finish at .500 in the Big 12. This is not a bad spot for that. Oklahoma is no pushover, but in the end, they just don't have much talent. I love Coach Porter Moser's ability to do more with less, but he might have had more talent with his recent Loyola teams. Texas is on the road, and that is never easy in the Big 12. The Texas defense can be overwhelming, and they have enough playmakers that they can win it late if need be. Texas is a tough matchup for Oklahoma. The Longhorns dominated the first meeting between these teams, holding the Sooners in check throughout the game. Oklahoma has one of the worst turnover rates in college basketball, while Texas forces the 7th most turnovers of any team in the country. The Sooners are not going to be able to overcome those turnovers, as they do not shoot well from the perimeter. Texas can neutralize Oklahoma's size in the paint and is not going to beat itself. This is a fun matchup between 2 great coaches. Texas to win and cover the spread is our first leg parlay play as a full game side pick. Villanova versus Providence. Villanova, winners of 3 in a row and 6 of 7, travel to Rhode Island to take on the unflappable Providence Friars. The Friars, picked to finish in the lower half of the Big East this season, remain atop the Big East standings and will put an 8-game winning streak and 14-game home winning streak on the line against the Wildcats. The Villanova Wildcats are 19-6 this season and have won 6 of their last 7 games. Villanova is coming off of a win against Seton Hall by a score of 73-67. Villanova only shot 41.7% from the field, but made 15 free throws in the win. Justin Moore led the Wildcats with 16 points and 7 rebounds in the game. Villanova is averaging 73.1 points per game and is giving up 62.2 points per game against, while also averaging 35.2 rebounds per game and 12.6 assists per game. Colin Gillespie is averaging 16.2 points per game and 2.9 assists per game, while Justin Moore is averaging 15.2 points per game and 5 rebounds per game for the Wildcats. Villanova is shooting 44% on field goals, 82.9% on free throws, and 35.9% on three-pointers. The Providence Friars are 21-2 this season and have won 8 games in a row. Providence defeated DePaul in overtime by a score of 76-73 in their last game. Providence shot 42.4% from the field and made 19 free throws in the game. Jared Bynum led the Friars with 25 points and 7 rebounds in the win. Providence is averaging 70.9 points per game and is giving up 64.6 points per game against, while also averaging 37 rebounds per game and 13.3 assists per game. Nate Watson is averaging 13.6 points per game and 5.7 rebounds per game, while Al Durham is averaging 13.4 points per game and 3.2 assists per game for the Friars. Providence is shooting 44.1% on field goals, 74.6% on free throws, and 34.6% on three-pointers. The 10th-ranked Villanova Wildcats will travel to Providence on Tuesday night for a Big East game against the 8th-ranked Providence Friars. Villanova is once again one of the best teams in the conference as well as the entire country under head coach Jay Wright. They are currently 19-6 on the season and riding a 3-game win streak after losing to Marquette on February 2nd. The Wildcats have beaten UConn, St. John's, and Seton Hall during their win streak. Villanova will need to bring it on Tuesday night if they want a chance at another Big East regular season title. They are 0.5 games back to the first-place Providence Friars. Villanova is 11-4 against the spread in their last 15 Tuesday games and 6-13 against the spread in their last 19 road games. The over is 5-2 in Villanova's last 7 road games. Providence is 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 Tuesday games and 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 home games. The over is 4-1 in Providence's last 5 home games. The favorite is 5-2 against the spread in these two teams' last 7 head-to-head meetings. Providence has been one of the most surprising teams this season as they hold an amazing 21-2 record on the year. They are ranked 8th in the country and have lost just 1 game to Marquette in league play so far. The Friars squeaked out an overtime victory in their last game against DePaul. It was not the best game by Providence, but they improved their home record to 14-0 this season. This should be one of the best games in this conference all season long as first place is on the line. Providence has never won the Big East regular season title in school history, so the crowd will be electric from start to finish. This Providence team continues to be slept on by oddsmakers, and they will prove that they are legit once again in this one. The Providence spread is our third leg play as a full game side pick. Arkansas versus Missouri. The Arkansas Razorbacks will travel to Mizzou Arena on Tuesday evening for a Southeastern Conference clash versus the Missouri Tigers. Missouri enters with a 10-14 overall record to go along with a 4-7 record in conference play. Meanwhile, Arkansas is hoping to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss over the weekend. Arkansas comes in with a 19-8 overall record, including an 8-4 mark versus Southeastern Conference opponents. The Razorbacks will make the trip north into Columbia to meet with the Tigers for the second time this season. Arkansas is coming into this game off of a loss to Alabama on Saturday, snapping the Razorbacks' 9-game win streak. During the course of that streak, the Razorbacks destroyed their opponents, winning each game by an average of 14 points. And even more impressive, they held their opponents to only 62.2 points per game. However, in the loss to Alabama, the Razorbacks shot only 31.4% from the field, and leading scorer J.D. Noti managed only 12 points on 4-11 shooting. The Tigers enter this game winners of 2 out of their last 3 games, with their most recent win coming at home over Ole Miss. Missouri arguably had their best offensive performance of the season against the Rebels on Saturday, shooting 53.8% from the field, including 7-14 from three-point range, and the Tigers finished the game with 5 players in double figures. The Tigers will seek to avenge the blowout loss they suffered against the Razorbacks a month ago, where the Tigers committed 23 turnovers and scored only 43 points on 29.2% shooting from the field. Even though Missouri is the home team for this game, Arkansas has looked like the significantly better basketball team so far this season, so this spread seems to be a bit too low. Arkansas has won 19 of its first 25 games, while Missouri has a losing record, so I cannot trust the Tigers on Tuesday. Plus, Arkansas ranks 69th in offensive efficiency according to Ken Palm rankings, while Missouri ranks 126th in offensive efficiency according to Ken Palm rankings, so I expect the Tigers to struggle more on the offensive end throughout this game. As a result, there is a lot of value with the road team in this spot. Arkansas has found ways to win close games during conference play, and it has taken care of business on the road, especially against weaker opponents. In their previous meeting this season, Missouri was blown out by 44 points. The Tigers struggled to get stops, in large part because they cannot keep teams off of the offensive glass. The Arkansas Razorbacks to win and cover the spread is our second leg parlay play as a full game side pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.